time for you to get some practice. And so in this video, I'll give you a very, very cool course project that is precisely the way we go about creating new Facebook campaigns on the world-class level. And that's how I want you to think about yourself. I want you to be creating campaigns on the highest level, the way that we do them. And so there's a couple of steps that you need to complete before you actually start your course project. So first, even if you do it for your own business, for a client, or for whoever, you want to set up your business manager. So that would include creating a business manager account. You need to create your pages and add accounts, set up your billing and payments. You need to set up your tracking pixels, connect your accounts, claim your pages, and so on. Do the entire Facebook Business Manager setup that I taught you in the beginning of this course. That would be step one. And specifically, if you're starting to work for a new client, they are unlikely to have Facebook Business Manager, and you need to set up all these assets, set up your tracking, and be prepared for your campaign. So step one is the preparation. Step two is the planning phase, which is the majority of this course project. So now, how do you actually complete that project? Of course, you just need to create your business manager first, and then you need to visit this link over here. That would be bit.ly Masters Academy Facebook Ads. And once you open that link, you will be taken to this page over here, and you will see this Masters Academy Facebook Ads course project. Now, what you need to do is go ahead to the File menu and make yourself a copy. You cannot request access to this web document because this is the one that we are using to share to everyone. And if you start editing that, that's not going to make any sense. So you make yourself a copy, and then once you do that, you can copy it inside of your own Google Drive, and you can start editing that document. I do recommend that you save a clean version of that document so you can copy it many more times and use it later on again, because you will be using it for every client and every campaign that you do. Because I know for sure that some of you skipped the business and marketing fundamentals courses. For each new campaign that you do, I want you to go through this entire process. So this is the Startup Masters Business and Marketing Planner tool. In order for you to have a successful campaign, you need to be familiar with all of the business details, the cost structures, and you need to have your customer journeys planned, and you need to understand your customers and a lot more. So let's go through it. First of all, in this document, you will find a bunch of tabs. And for those of you who have seen it in the Marketing Fundamentals course, it's precisely the same document. And that's what we really use when we plan every single one of our campaigns. And that's really probably the key reason why they are successful. It's because we know what we are doing in advance. So first of all, here in the business information, you should describe the business as you would describe it to a friend or your grandma. Make sure that you know what the vision, mission, and values of the company are. And then, when people think of that business, who are the core customers, the core products, and so on. What do customers get? What's your value proposition? What are the brand promises, guarantees, differentiating activities? What are the different revenue streams and how you make money? And what are the business goals of that business? You should be very clear on that, and you should do that to align yourself, specifically if you're working with clients, to make sure that you are on the same page and you are following the same goals. Then what you need to do, if you're doing it for yourself, you need to describe your customers. If you're doing it for clients as an agency or as a freelancer, you definitely want to conduct a very in-depth conversation with the high levels of the organizations, possibly the CEO, the marketing team, even sometimes the customer service teams, to familiarize yourself as best as possible with the customers. So you need to describe your customers. You need to have at least 3 customer segments. You need to have precise identifiers or things that you're going to be using for your targeting. This will help you prepare for your campaigns, and this is what you will use to later set up your audiences. If you have options to target B2C clients or to target B2B clients, you need to answer these questions. And again, remember that you can add more things over here, maybe more interests, more things in general. And you want to set up your metrics that you want to be tracking for these guys, right? Then you want to have a business Sudoku, making sure that you know what types of numbers the business should hit. If you don't know how these things work, make sure to go ahead and check the business and marketing fundamentals courses. This is incredibly important, incredibly important. This is again on the business side. You have the monthly version and the yearly version. You need to be clear on the business targets and especially the expenses and the CPAs, the cost per acquisition that this specific business can afford. You should not take a marketing budget for a given. You need to know what the business can afford, not what the client tells you their marketing budget should be. Their marketing budget is 99.9% likely to be inappropriate or wrong. It's really the case. 99% of the time, the marketing budget is not what it should be. So you should do the business mathematics, figure out what the exact marketing budget should be, and then start doing your marketing planning. Then you have your product tables. You need to be aware. I recommend using the advanced product table. You need to be aware of the product mathematics for each of these different businesses that you're going to plan. And for each campaign, for each product that you're going to advertise, you need to know its mathematics, and you need to know the CPA that you can afford to spend to get sales for that product. Of course, then once you do that for all products, you can have your monthly and yearly estimates and targets. You need to do that, and if you help your client get to that, they will immediately perceive you as an expert. You can also use this to plan the campaign and attach it to your proposal and show them that you really know what you're talking about. Then you need to understand their team and who is doing what. You need to make sure that once you start advertising and the demand for the company's products or services increases, they can actually handle it and do the job well and won't disappoint your customers or the customers that you get them. They might be your customers as well if it's your company, but you need to make sure that they won't disappoint them because you want retention. Retention is going to help you increase the performance of your advertising campaigns. You're going to get more sales through your remarketing campaigns. Your clients are going to be happier. They're going to make more money, and you need to make sure to help them do that. And so, of course, you need to be clear on the teams. You need to know who is responsible for what. If their team is a mess, you need to know what KPIs each team member needs to hit and which part is yours. In this case, you will fall somewhere here around the marketing category, and you need to have clear success KPIs that you need to agree on with your clients, or if it's your business, with yourself, to make sure that you are setting the right targets and going in the right direction. And in case you achieve those targets, you will be successful. And in case you don't, you will know where to find the problem. Then your expenses. Why do you need the expenses? You need to have the right cost structure so that you can do your Sudoku properly and estimate the right CPAs, or how much the marketing budget should be and how much can you afford to spend for marketing. All of these things are incredibly important. Then after the expenses, you need to be aware of the competitors. Obviously, I don't have to explain why you need to do this. You need to have a list of the competitors and their websites, possibly even their Facebook pages, so you can do your competitor research, so you can know what their value proposition is and how it stands against your competitors. That's why you have the competitive matrix over here. You should do the competitive matrices for yourself. Make sure you know what are your business advantages and disadvantages, and what are your product service advantages and disadvantages. You need to play to your strengths and cover your weaknesses. Again, with the competitors, you can use that to take their to open up their Facebook pages and use the ads library to see what they're advertising. And you also can, a good piece of advice here is to take competitors from other countries. Even if they're not your direct competitors, you can still research what they're doing and try to compete with the best in the world, not your local market. This will help you get better performance in the beginning, and also will help you scale faster and scale your campaigns to larger sizes. Specifically, if you're working for customers, this will mean that once you scale their budget to a large size, you will make more money. These competitive matrices are important to show you where you're better, what you need to improve or cover, and what should be the things that you emphasize in your messages. Additional piece of advice: you need to be familiar with the entire market, not just your company and the competitors, but who are all the other players in the market, because that will allow you to create maybe successful partnerships, maybe cooperations with some of them, and you will know how to act in the business world that you have entered in. You will know who are the other players in the industry, and this will help you orient yourself in the business environment and get a larger market share by knowing how to play with others in your area. You have a list of ideas that's self-explanatory, and you need to create your customer journey in advance before preparing your campaigns. You have here your event timeline. For those of you who don't know how to create customer journeys, 100% definitely go to the Marketing Fundamentals course. It's explained there in full detail how you do that. But here you will have your event timeline. This is what are the steps that your customers need to take to go through the customer journey in a chronological order. You will have that over here on the left. And then you have your different customer journey stages. What are you doing? In what ways it's going to fail, and how are you going to react? What actions are you going to take to react? Those would be, maybe we start with Facebook campaigns, and then when people don't visit our website, we will retarget our customers with Facebook page and post engagement campaigns to retarget them again. Once they come to a website, they enter in the consideration phase. Here we bring these and these arguments within our landing pages and so on. This is how we try to convince them. This is what are the possible ways in which we can fail and what we do about them. Maybe again, types of remarketing campaigns, maybe certain promotions, discounts, anything like that. On the purchase stage, you need to be able to have direct sales campaigns or direct to offer campaigns, and you need to have your you need to know what are the reasons why people might not buy your product. Again, here you'll be collecting feedback, you'll be talking to customers, providing a live chat, things like that. And then once all of that fails, you will have your add to cart remarketing through email marketing, which we'll cover in the next course, or you will be doing additional add to cart remarketing campaigns and warm audience remarketing. Then once people start buying from you, you will have upsell and retention campaigns. And then if you lose your customers, you need to figure out why. That's probably the most important part. That's why it's in all caps over here. And then you need to figure out in what ways you're going to react to bring them back and turn them into brand advocates. And if that fails, how are you going to react? For more information on this, again, check the Marketing Fundamentals course. You have the advertising tool as well over here. This one here has two versions, right? This is this guy over here. You have this tool in an Excel format, which is in some ways even cooler because it has two versions. We are going to update this tool soon, but it's not updated here. So you have one that's based on impressions, clicks, and conversion rates, and you have one that's based on target CTR and target CPA, right? So this one is CTR, CPA based, and this one is clicks and budget based. Right, so you put the clicks and budget. Some of these tools, like this tool, is probably more aimed at Google Ads campaigns, and this one is more focused on Facebook. So that's why the two different versions exist. You can use both to your liking. And again, when you plan your campaigns, you are going to want to use the marketing channels and campaigns tool. You want to say for each of your campaigns, like for example, here in the Facebook awareness campaigns, I want to make 25 sales and I can afford a CPA of 150. And then for Facebook remarketing, I want 65 sales with a CPA of 30, and that will bring me an overall CPA of 63. You need to make that calculation because it's not very easy to do this calculation in your head, and you also need to be able to defend why you have certain campaigns that are above the CPA target level, right? If the CPA target for this particular business, for example, is $80, if you have an awareness campaign that converts at 150, you won't be able to explain why. This tool will help you explain to yourself and to your clients why that is the case and why you should keep your awareness campaigns specifically. And then you can also use this tool to compare the effectiveness of different campaigns and also to showcase how your entire marketing strategy is going to work together. You have your email marketing here, for example, your SEO, which are probably going to have a higher sales target and a much lower CPA, right? The organic channels have a much lower CPA. And so you can use this tool to do that, and it's going to calculate your budget, the sum of all of your different campaign budgets, your total sales target, overall CPA, and it will tell you what percentage of the budget is each campaign. So it's very, very useful. Next, you have your messaging. You want to have your messaging per stages. You want to have at least 2 messages. Obviously, in Facebook ads, you're going to be testing much more than that. So that's not something that should surprise you. I recommend you start with at least 2 messages and then add another 2 once these first 2 fail, because you will not have 100% at any stage. So don't worry about that. Just go with the ones that you would try first, test 2 versions, and then what happens when they fail. So for example, this will be your cold audience messages in your awareness campaigns, and this will be the ones that you use for the people who engaged with your ads or Facebook page but did not visit your website. Here in the consideration phase, this will be the messages that you use for the people on your website, and then this will be for the bouncers. Then you have your direct to offer or purchase campaigns over here, and you will have your add to cart remarketing over here. And again, this is your upselling and retention, and this is once people churn and you lose them, you want to bring them back. This will be your re-engagement campaigns, and then your advocacy and probably research campaigns for why people are not in love with your business. You have a tool to outline your tech stack and all the marketing software that you're going to be using for that, for your different marketing campaigns. This is non-essential for Facebook campaigns specifically, because you just need to have a working website, probably a CRM, an online store, and a Facebook pixel setup. And here in the end, you want to outline your strategy, because you want to make sure that your campaigns are actually trying to get you to the end goal or towards the strategy, and they're not pulling in the opposite direction, right? So pretty much that's your course project. Get prepared. Get very, very prepared before you actually start doing campaigns. Do the work before that. This document will become invaluable over time, I promise you. And if you get into the habit of doing this for every new campaign or business that you start working with, you will have incredible results. It took me 15 years to get here. I can now do a business plan and a marketing strategy in a day. It takes most people a month to do that, and 90% of companies don't have a written business plan and marketing strategy. You can get that done in a day, and it will really, really, really help you to have successful campaigns, just because of the clarity that you get, just because of the numbers that you will know you need to hit, and just because you will be working with the right business mathematics, and you won't go overboard. And you will know who you're targeting, who your competitors are, how you should approach your communication, and you will have everything prepared. So once you start creating your campaigns, they are much more likely to be successful. And that's why I want you to complete this course project. And once you do, please send it over. If you want, you can personally send it to me in Discord. I would be happy to review it with you. Maybe even we could do a live session with you and help you, give you a consultation. We don't promise this for everyone, but if you do put the work in your course project, we will help you make your campaigns successful, make them great again, and you will benefit immensely from this preparation. I promise you. Please do not ignore this. Follow every single step, do the job, and I promise you, you will be successful. So I wish you good luck and lots of fun completing your course project, and I'll see you guys in the next video.